Hello everyone and welcome to another video in this channel. First of all, if you haven't seen me around this past week, I'm sorry. There's been a lot of work on the museum, which is one of our biggest clients here in Mexico. These 2 weeks are the biggest weeks in the whole year, so we've been working full day over there. But worry not, because today we're going to continue with our portfolio review, and I'm going to start with people here from our Discord channel. So I'm going to start with SpongeBob86, who is a Julia from St. Petersburg, Russia. So the first thing I noticed, Julia, you have really nice renders, really nice models, and really nice textures. That's always nice to see. I do feel like we could improve our renders a little bit because I don't see a focal point on the different things that we're looking for. Okay, so we gotta work a little bit on that, and I'm gonna explain what I mean by this. This is a great model. I'm not sure if you were following the Steampunk Firefly series that we have here in YouTube. If you have, then awesome, because this is what I mean by following a tutorial. You can follow it, and then you do your own stuff. In this case, you did a V instead of the what's it, Firefly, right? Now, one thing that I definitely think could help this particular render is to add something else, like a little environment. Maybe it's just a table with a cup of tea or something, just something that looks a little bit more interesting so that we can see this in context. I always talk about this word context. Like, we need to imagine how this thing would look inside of a film, inside of a game, inside of a movie or commercial, like whatever. So adding a little bit of an environment would be really, really good for that particular piece. This one looks nice. Again, very common issue that I see a lot of people do. When you do your metal edgeware, which I can see that you're doing here and on the wheel spokes and stuff, make sure to break it down a little bit. You don't want to have metal edgeware everywhere, because when you do that, what happens, it looks fake. It looks like you just used the metal edgeware like a generator instead of substance, and it's not as nice as possible. Now, I'm also seeing a little bit of a low quality on the render itself. It looks a little bit low poly. Now, I can see here that you did this in Substance 3D Modeler. I'm not sure if this is right or if you were using Substance 3D Painter. But yeah, I would definitely try to improve the renders here, because again, we don't have a focal point. It's this very ambient light just hitting the subject from every single angle. And usually you want to tell a story with lights. We do have, of course, the courses. I'm going to be just pinpointing or guiding you guys to some of them. So for instance, in the cinematic lighting course, I talk a lot about this, like how we can use light to tell a story and to evoke certain feelings from our audience, from whoever is seeing this. This is a nice model. It's a little bit dense, so this is definitely something that we might find in a film or a commercial. And since we are going for this sort of film or commercial look, again, I think the rendering is one of the elements that we could improve upon, because it's not a bad model. It's actually a really, really nice model, and I admire that you were able to recreate all of the little leaves and details that we have right here that tends to be quite tricky. But it looks like a game asset, right? So even though you have a really high poly right here, the textures and the rendering that we're getting, it looks very game-ish. So it might be a better idea to try something like Arnold Renderer or something. I'm not sure if you're doing the render straight from Substance Painter, but if you are, make sure you bring this back into Maya and do some ray tracing rendering, because you're going to get a better result. This looks interesting. Again, the quality of the render seems to be suffering from some sort of compression or something, so be careful there. But Jellyfish is really nice. It does say here that you use Maya, so I'm not sure what's happening with the render, or if you're using a filter or something, but lights is where we can definitely improve, because look at how much detail you have on this character right here, all of this modeling pieces. That's great, but in here it looks just like a pixelated JPEG that you get from Google Images, and that's not what you want your portfolio to be, okay? I talked about this not so long ago, but the neural filters instead of Photoshop. So you might want to do a 2K render and then up-res it to 4K, and that way you're gonna get a lot more life into it. It definitely seems to me that you're using some sort of filter or something, and this might be your personal choice, which is fine, but I do feel like it might be detracting for yourself. Look at this. See how pixelated this image looks in regards to what's the word, in regards to the quality that we're getting. We're not getting that sort of ray trace effect. It looks very fake, very CG, and I'm not sure if this is because you're not using Arnold properly. This looks way better. This final one looks a little bit better, but still very overblown. So I would strongly recommend that you check our cinematic rendering course, because I think you can get some very nice results from that one. Yeah, it looks weird. See, again, no shadows on the element, and this is a great model. Your modeling and texturing skills are really good. Rendering is where we need to improve. Okay, so I'm not gonna go over this because I don't want to be like super like you gotta improve the render, but hopefully this advice, again, I always do this, guys, to try to help you. Now, before I continue, I just want to remind you guys, and we also use the Discord to announce that sort of stuff, that we just released our newest course, which is the AAA prop making for beginners. So if you guys want to become a prop artist, this one via Rosh is really, really good. And at the time of this recording, I believe we're still holding the 90% discount. So make sure to check the link down here and check this one out. The promo video, you can check it for as well. It's on Udemy, it's on Skillshare, it's on ArtStation, any platform that you prefer to get it. You can get it for a very low price right now. So let's go back to our portfolio review and let's continue now with Ahmed Ahmed Cino. Oh, fellow Mexican. Muy buena noticia al encontrar otro mexicano por aquí. So let's see. Long range weapon. Cool. The modeling is fine. I like it. It's a nice clean modeling. There are some things that could benefit from a higher poly count. For instance, this optical side right here looks a little bit like blocky. So adding a couple of extra bevels might be a good idea. I'm also not sure what kind of texture map you're using. I can see that you are using my trick, I think, which is the metal edgeworth trick, where you are affecting other parts. Yeah, your high poly is nice, it's really clean, and the low poly is not bad, but again, I think you could add a couple more triangles. You're at 50, 100 triangles. You can probably bring this to 20k triangles and use those extra triangles that you get to have some cleaner, nicer silhouettes. Now, where are you doing the render? Marmoset. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Marmoset is fine for renders, but it might be a good idea to get a nice, like, Maya render from this one as well, especially the high poly. I think that will be really interesting. Let's go to the next one. Octopus Cthulhu sword modeling. Okay, so this one, I think I can start to see some of the opportunity areas that you might have, Ahmed. And in this case, it will be forms. Like the forms of the octopus do not read as strong as what I would expect from this type of like effects. The glow is fine. I mean, it's a broadsword, so it's okay in like the blade sort of thing. But we definitely need to polish the shapes of the octopus. I did very recently a video about a keycap. This one right here. This like Cthulhu keycap. Let me see if I can. It's gonna be out of focus, but I show how to do this. Maybe you can get some information from that one. And I can see that you followed the retopology quite nicely. Now this one, I think you're having the opposite mistake. You're going way too high. Like look at this, almost 20k triangles for a sword. That's not something that we would normally find on the game. Like we need to simplify certain areas that can definitely like have that simplification. Like I can see there's a lot of like support edges right here you probably don't need, and then the tentacles are very low poly, so we need to fix those and get them a little bit higher poly because they're more organic. Usually organic shapes should have more polygons, and mechanical or hard surface things should have less polygons. So there's definitely room for optimization in this one. Texturing wise, I'm also not super in love with it. It looks a little bit like fakeish. So we will need to do a little bit of research to find some more appropriate materials, and rendering is another thing that we can, of course, improve upon. Now, I can see that you did improve upon of this because here in your portfolio, this one right here looks way better. It looks a little bit nicer. The rendering is improving. The environment, again, needs a little bit of work. I'm not sure what you guys are using for rendering. I know sometimes the computers can be a resource issue with this sort of renders, but for instance, this light looks very fake. I am gonna guess that because it says Blender here, I'm gonna guess that you're using Eevee instead of cycles for rendering, and that's why it looks more like a video game rather than a CG shot or something, because the light is not really bouncing. And how I can tell is look at how high the highlights are here on this ground, and we have no bounce light here on the walls. So this is one of those things that can really benefit from an improvement. I'm gonna give you a small homework, my friend. If you want, send me these files, like send me this scene right here, and I'll show you how you can do a better render inside of Blender with everything that you have here set up, just changing a couple of things with the light and stuff, okay? So if you wanna do that, go for that. I can see a couple of characters here. This like stylized bat, that's fun. It's a fun little character. I think it's fine. You can definitely keep this one. It's simple. I know it takes like some time to do it. I'm not saying that it's not worth it. I'm just saying that the other props or the other elements look a little bit more elaborated than this guy's right here. Be very careful with the proportions. Her proportions here on the hips seem a little bit too big for what I would like suggest. You and I have a really cool like artist that we can use. His name is Carlos Ortega. You might know him. He is a super famous character artist. He is in Guadalajara. So look at his stuff. He does super stylized, sexy, cute girls. So make sure to check his stuff, check his proportions, check how he does like the composition, the lights, everything, because he's like one of the top artists here in Mexico. So a perfect example for this kind of work right here. So yeah, hopefully that worked, my friend, and I'm happy to see more of your stuff in the upcoming months. So yeah, keep it up. Let's go with Burke. Burke, I believe I've seen some of your stuff before, or if not, I've definitely talked to you in the live streams because I remember your username. So first thing that I noticed is that we have a little bit of everything here in your portfolio, and that's not bad. However, we've mentioned this before, it's usually a good idea to categorize things in a nicer way. So if you want to be a 3D artist, keep your portfolio as a 3D artist. If you want to be a concept artist, that's fine. Here in ArtStation, I believe you can do groups like what we have here with Ahmed, where you can have like folders. You can do one for 2D and one for 3D. So I'm not gonna criticize or give you feedback on the 2D because I'm not a 2D artist. I'm gonna start with the 3D characters, and right out of the bat, I can see some really good ones and some that might not be the best idea to keep on your portfolio. So for instance, this one right here. I understand that this was probably and yeah, immediately it says right here on the description, first 3D character face animation. Usually the first thing I do of anything, it's not going to be on my portfolio, okay? Because remember, your portfolio should be your best presentation card. So this is the sort of stuff that should only be on your like Facebook page or on your like Instagram and stuff. For instance, like the topology here on the character, it's not something that we would use for animation. It's way too dense. The hair, so there's things, and I know that you were learning, right? Like, and you say that you were learning, you were exploring some processes on the 3D modeling and animation world. That's fine. I always encourage people to practice and stuff, but it might not be the best idea to bring this into the internet because it might contaminate your profile. Remember that we are all like algorithms inside of the internet, or where we have like profiles, right? So if you upload a lot of stuff that's not as good, then your name will be like connected to that things that might not be as good. Now you do have some really cool stuff like this one right here, this 3D portrait girl. Like I can definitely see the improvement. It's a really nice render. I know this is just a render from ZBrush, but even just a render from ZBrush, it shows that you're managing your forms a lot better. Even the fiber mesh here looks okay, looks nice. I like this shot right here. That's very cool. I think you went a little bit heavy on the details on her face, and the mouth looks a little bit small. There's definitely certain forms that we can explore a little bit more. I love the eyelashes though. They look really nice. Even the eyebrows look really clean. So congratulations. I've never been a fan of fiber mesh, to be honest, but that one looks really nice. This one looks really cool. I think this is probably one of the best ones on your portfolio right now. I would definitely keep this as one of the top on your stuff. Even this one is not that bad. This is nice. This sort of like stylized character. It can definitely be improved, I think. What were you using? Because again, I can see some like artifacts on the rendering. Like the ZBrush render looks a little bit cleaner than the other one. But yeah, like this one, I love this one. I think that this one really shows that you are able to create something that works as a concept piece and as a monster. Like I'm not sure how much post production you use here for this one in Photoshop, but that's fine. That's what every single like 3D concept artist does, and this is a great technique. This one again, cool. This one is from our stylized soldier creation. I think you nailed it. I think the result is nice. Again, a couple of things on the face that I would probably fix in regards to the forms to make his forms a little bit more like stronger, but it's not bad, not bad. So yeah, all of the props look really nice. That's cool. Then this one right here, anatomy practice. The anatomy looks good. Now, I'm going to give you an advice. This is something that all of my teachers used to tell us. Unless you want to be associated with this sort of like sexual content, I would probably avoid it. Like, I understand what you were going for. And if you want to do anatomy study, just throw in like a boxer's like a short or something. No need to be as suggestive, because when you do this thing where it's very suggestive, then what happens is people only focus on that, right? And you don't want them to only be focusing at the pelvic area of this character. You wanted them to appreciate all of the anatomy that you did for the arms, the chest, the face, everything, right? So don't let them get distracted by other things, okay, my friend? So yeah, I think that would be my like 2 cents for you. Like, get some more organization. Take out things that you know are not that good. Like for instance, this fast sketch. It's fun. It's a pizza. It kind of reminds me of Little Caesars, which is fine. But again, this is not supposed, or it's not that it's not supposed, it's not recommended for this to be on your portfolio, because people are going to wonder why does Burke think that this is a good portfolio piece? and that can bring some questions or some doubts to recruiters or to people that are watching your stuff. Okay, so yeah, that would be my advice. Let's now jump. That was the last one for the Discord channel. So from the moment you're watching this, guys, if you want to submit for next month, which is going to be May, make sure to start dropping your stuff either here on the Discord. Leave me a little message as well to tell me what we're going to be looking at or what you want me to focus on. And if not, you can always drop it on the Google Drive as well. Now, yesterday, I did tell you guys, like, hey, if you guys want, you can drop your stuff, and look at how many drops we got. Like, it's really long. I think Aryan was the last one from yesterday, and we got 3, 4, 5 more. Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I'm a little bit tired today, so I'm gonna do a couple more. I'm gonna stop at Aryan, and the last 5 right here, I'm gonna leave them for Sunday, okay? Normally, we don't do 3-day, like, portfolio reviews, but again, I really need to get some sleep, so I'm gonna be moving through this ones, and then we'll do the next ones tomorrow. Okay? I've already closed the submission, so there's not gonna be any more chance to submit more of this, guys. But yeah, like let's just go. So Baldi, I think we saw yours yesterday. No, I don't think I saw yours. I think the last one was it Lisa's? I do remember Lisa's. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, I think Ulysses was the last one. So let's continue with Baldi right here. Baldi Thomas. Nice. Okay, so I see some good prop rendering things. Let's take a look at this one. Hanging torture rack. Not bad. This is what I mean by a nice render. See how the light bounces and it infiltrates the room in a very nice way. That's the stuff that we're going for. This is a nice prop, man, and I love some of the shots. This could definitely be on the game, depending on the amount of yeah. Now that I see that it's very low poly, this could definitely be on the game. 10,000 polygons for this prop right here is perfect. I'm gonna give you an advice for the blood, especially if it's supposed to be dry blood. Try to change the blending mode to overlay so that it gets a little bit darker and it looks like it has like what's the word, like soaked into the device. Okay, that's really good, man. I like that one. This group project, this is a great thing, guys. Like, if you can work on this sort of stuff with your friends, it's one of the best ways to get your name out there. And the reason why is, with the force of more people combined, you guys should be able to create things that are way more impressive. And yes, people will know. Like, I know Baldi did not do every single piece here, but this is what I'm gonna remember when I think about Baldi. I'm gonna remember this very cool, cinematic, fantasy looking like environment. So this looks really nice. I think there's a lot of really cool props. Of course, there's a couple of them that could be improved, but the fact that you guys were able to finish this whole thing is really impressive. This like corpse right here could definitely be improved. I'm not sure if it's a corpse, if it's like a cow something. But yeah, this is a great project, Baldi. Keep this one, and if you can do more of them, go for it. This one, another favorite right now. It's really clean, really nice, really optimized. Like, I wouldn't even go like and optimize this further. You could, of course, optimize this a little bit further, but to be honest, I think it's perfectly optimized. The textures look really nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a great project, my friend. Now I do want to give you guys a little bit more feedback, right? So if I was to give you one feedback, Baldi, learn Marvelous. You already know modeling, you already know texturing, you already know rendering, which is amazing. Now you probably need Marvelous, because like this tapestry right here, or this curtain right here, if you did this with Marvelous, then the way the wrinkles and everything would look would be so much better. And here's the cool thing. You could just do those for like learn Marvelous, improve these 2 props, and then resubmit this one, and it's gonna be like way better as well. Stylized lamp. Okay, simple prop. I normally advise against having this sort of elements in your portfolio, because they are, as the name implies, simple. Or there's a stylized lamp. It looks very simple. So be careful. I'm not saying take it out, because I think it's fun. It's a fun little project. I probably wouldn't take this out, but I'll probably like group it with other things. This one looks nice. And this is another group project. Cool. Yeah, so there you go, man. Where are you studying? Because you got some cool stuff here. London, United Kingdom. Nice. Again, stylized molar pipes. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I will keep those. And then a car is always a nice like showcase of your modeling skills. But the way you know if someone did this right is with the wireframe. Do we have a wireframe? Yes, we do. Yeah, this is clean. This is, I wouldn't consider this to be a game prop because it's a little bit high for games, I would say. Maybe if it's like Forza or something where the car is the main focus. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can definitely use this in the game. It's a little bit high though. Like I'll probably optimize a couple of areas here and there, like collapse some edges. Like you can see, like all of these edges, for instance, they could probably be collapsed and save a couple of triangles. I mean, it's not necessary. Nowadays, engines or yeah, game engines allow you to have a lot of geometry. But yeah, this is really nice. UV optimization could be improved. I can see a lot of like empty spaces right here, so it might be worth it to give it a check to see if things are working properly. But yeah, this is a nice project, man. Nice car, Volkswagen, and then another Nissan. Oh, this is just the wheel. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice renders, man. This is a nice, clean cinematic render. This is what I mean. This is what you want to see in portfolios because they look very professional, right? So take everyone else who's watching these videos, because I'm sure a lot of people watch this to learn from other people, which is what we do as artists. We learn from everyone else. Is take a look at this. Take a look at how Baldi is doing his renders, because this is the kind of stuff that you want to capture in your own work. Congratulations, man. I really don't have a lot to say. You have like, you have exactly what I would be looking for if I was looking for a prop artist. So if I was hiring, I would definitely like send you an email, because this is the stuff that we would need here in the studio. So yeah, keep it up, man. Another suggestion might be, because I've seen a lot of cars and like medieval things. Try doing some sort of like sci-fi stuff. Try doing some I don't know what else would be a good idea. Like some more organic things, maybe a little bit of sculpting. I don't see a lot of ZBrush in these things. I see a lot of texture work and a very clean modeling, but maybe ZBrush is another thing that you could improve on. Marbles, as I mentioned, and yeah, hopefully all of this helps. So let's go now with, that was Ulysses, which we've already checked. That was Baldi. Let's go with Prince. Prince, hi, my name is Prince. I'm from India. Hope you're doing well. I am doing great, my friend. Let's take a look at your stuff. I do believe I've seen some of your stuff as well before, because I do remember this elements right here. I think you did follow one of my advices, which was to take out some of the stuff that I consider was not as good, because I remember this Green Lantern thing or Ben 10 thing, or I'm not sure about the superhero, and now it's not down here, which is good. I like that. And you keep the ones that I told you that were good. Like I remember these leather keychain very closely. So yeah, that's what that's why I suggest. And now, as you can see, I think we can both agree that your renders look way more, or your portfolio looks way more professionally presented. This is a great photorealistic render. I love the depth of field. How did you do the foam? That's really impressive, man. Was it just a texture? Damn, that's good, man. That's a great detail, I would say. Coffee beans are great. Yeah, like this is, I know normally I say don't do simple things. This is the kind of thing that's a simple thing presented in an amazing way. So this thing, go for it. Like do this kind of stuff, guys. Like if you want to do a simple thing, make sure you present it in this way, because this is a great piece. And I congratulate you, Prince. That's great. Now let's take a look at this wooden house. Okay, not bad. I know a lot of these assets are probably not done by you. And I can see that you're going for this lightning element. I think the composition is not the greatest. We're forcing a very like intense perspective. As you can see, the foreground here, this first section is covering probably like half of the picture, and then the house is just like 1/5 of the picture, and then the background is the other half of the picture. So I think the light is fine, but I would probably work a little bit more on the composition itself. Now, you might also want to add something else to make this a little bit more interesting. Remember that we always want to be telling a story, right? Like we want to be sharing some sort of feeling or something. So if this is this very like joyful thing, like maybe add some stock characters of like a grandpa walking with his little grandkid towards the cabin in this very happy and inspirational like summer evening. That's fine, but we always try to tell a story, okay? So that would be my advice for this one. But congratulations, man. I can definitely see that your what's the word? Your portfolio is cleaner. It looks more presentable, and now it's just a matter of filling this with a couple more projects to make sure that you get your name out there. So congratulations, Prince. That's really nice. Let's go now with Takehiro Yamasaki, who has shown other stuff before as well. Says, hello, long time no see. My name is Takehiro Yamasaki. After finishing Samurai Girl, I decided to create Valkyrie from Valkyrie Elysium. It was tough work, but I finished creating Valkyrie's sword and kept painting her body. I need to fix her eye and face shape after painting her skin, but I think it doesn't take so long. Could you check out my work and tell me if there's any good advice? Sure, that's fine. Oh, forgot to have a show. How do I achieve this kind of quality level? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't think this is a super high quality level thing, to be honest. Like, I think there's better anime-ish like results, like 3D results than this one. What's the best way to do it? Practice, of course. It's no secret that our stuff, it's a lot of practice. But let me take a look at your Valkyrie stuff before giving you some advice about that one. Ooh, this one looks nice. Yeah, this one looks nice, man. That's cool. UBSR. There's a lot of cuts. One thing that you guys need to understand is every cut that you add to a UV will hit on the performance a little bit. So it's not the same to have like 10 cuts than to have 100 cuts. It's fine. Again, it's not gonna break the game or anything, but you might, like, if you're working on a studio, you might get a notification like, hey, you have a lot of islands, like try to reduce those. And the reason why a lot of islands might be problematic is especially with baked light. When you bake light into the texture map. And if the texture map is really complex like this, it takes a little bit longer to process the whole thing. So that's one of the issues or the reasons why you might not want to have as many islands. Another reason is, imagine you're doing like this sort of like animated texture that moves through the surface of your object. If you have a lot of islands, it's going to be very difficult to properly like synchronize all of the little things like working together. And if you have like fewer islands, it tends to be a little bit easier to play around with it. But it's not bad. I like the sword. It's fine. Let's take a look at the character. Okay, yeah, I think the face can definitely be improved a little bit. It's not that bad, or it's not bad actually. I think we're really close on the face, but it can definitely be improved. Now, another thing that you might be running here is the focal length of the camera, and that happens like even with this camera. Right now, this camera is set to I think it's like 24 or 15 focal length. That's why you're seeing a lot of my room. If I change this, and I make this like really close, like this, you're gonna see that my face changes proportion. It also changes light because of the diaphragm and stuff. But you're gonna see my face change like proportions. So the focal length that you use is gonna be really, really important to dictate the kind of result. And right now it looks like you're using a very low focal length for this particular picture. And in this one, it seems like we have a flatter focal length. So that's why it looks a little bit disproportionate. Let me go and take a look at the full body. Do we have a full body? Okay, yeah. So the armor looks good. I think the skirt, like on this area right here, you baked a lot of things that shouldn't have been baked, like the belt right here. That's something that you probably want to keep as a separate thing. And the arms definitely need a little bit of work. I feel like your hands are really long on the fingers. I think that's something that we definitely need to change. Now, for this sort of like anime-ish girl thing, you're gonna have to do a lot of sculpting, and let me look for this on another like tab because we might get some some things that YouTube's not gonna like. So let's see, anime 3D girl sculpt. So the end result that you get is gonna be a little bit more on the rendering side of things. There we go. So let me. There's some not safe for work stuff in here. Sorry, this sort of thing tends to go a little bit into the not safe for work area. There we go, like this one right here. This one's, it's a little bit better. Okay, so you can see here that the forms, the volumes, the anatomy, the shapes of the character, that's what we're looking for on this sort of like characters, right? And you can stylize and exaggerate features as much as you want. That's perfectly fine. But the form is going to be really important. And then the shading, but that's going to be on the shader itself. I think, and I would probably recommend you try some Blender shaders because there are some Blender tutorials out there that teach you how to do like this sort of like anime-ish or manga, or I don't know how you call this, like effect where it's cell shaded. So you're going to get flat colors and then just like the black outline, but you need to have really, really clean shapes in order to achieve that. So that would be my advice for that particular. And I think that one that you're showing, it's Mika, right? I think that's her name. So I think that this one is a good project. There's a lot of reference of this character out there, so you will be finding a lot of this like views. Don't use these views though. Go for the official ones. Try to look for official views because these proportions are a little bit off from what I've seen from this character. So you might want to like tweak that and get something a little bit closer. But yeah, that's it for Takahiro. We're now gonna go with Avinash Das. Let's take a look. Hey Abraham, hope you have a good day. My name is Avinash. I want to be an environment or hard surface artist. This is my first time submitting. Let's take a look. Nice. Okay, so for a first impression, this is looking good, man. This combat knife is fine. Nice attention to detail. Nice texture work. One thing that I'm hoping to see in just a second is your wireframe. There we go. Nice wireframe, man. Super clean. That looks like an Engon. I'm not sure if it is, but it kind of looks like an Engon right there. Just like complete that line. Even if you get like 3 extra polys just to clean that Engon. But this is really good. How high are these textures? Are they like 4K textures? Which is fine. I mean, for the presentation, it's perfectly fine. But that's like really, really nice effect. This is one of I love doing this. This is one of the exercises that I teach when I'm teaching like Intro to Maya or Intro to Blender or anything. It's just a really nice way to teach like the basics of hard surface modeling. This is great. This is very, very nice. Maybe this ones, I'll probably keep them, like, I will push them in. I usually don't like to use height map to push things out because it looks very fake. I prefer to push things in, which makes them look a little bit more natural. So I will probably be pushing those in instead of out. This is a great one. I love this one. Again, great attention to detail on the texturing. A chair, like my gaming chair right here, looks very similar actually. I think the plastic looks a little bit too perfect, which for a product render will be perfectly fine. Yeah, this is good. I think one other... Oh, nice topology. Yeah, really clean. I think one thing that you could add is a little bit of description, because I don't see... Oh, yeah, there you go. Modeling Maya, texturing substance, all day tools, materials, poly count 50k. Yeah, that's fine. This is a little bit heavy for a game. Like, you wouldn't be able to have a chair like this with 50k triangles. It's way, way too much. So you definitely need to show, if you want to be a game environment artist or game prop artist, you need to show that you know how to optimize things a little bit more. Same for like this walkie-talkie. This is really good, man. Really good attention to detail. This is way, I think this is a lot more optimized than the other one. 25k tries. Still a little bit high though. Where do you have your tries? Why do you have 25k? Trying to find where most of them are. I can see, I think it's like in there. So that's the kind of stuff that you can usually handle with just like a flat face, because it will catch, everything will be catched on a normal map. So yeah, you can definitely optimize this more. Like if we're working on a game and you were part of the team, I will probably tell you, hey, you need to lower this down all the way to like 8k triangles. I know it's not going to look as nice, but it's not something that we can afford having in the game. Like, we can't spend that many polygons on that part right there. This Porsche is good as well, but I don't like the render that you chose for your thumbnail. I'll probably choose this one right here, or like this one right here. Like, that back view that you used it's really weird, so I would probably recommend changing the render here. But everything else looks great, man. Congratulations. Now, what would I suggest? Based on the fact that you said that you want to be an environment artist, you need to do a room. A room is one of those things that any environment artist should be able to do, so that you learn how to optimize walls, optimize floors, optimize assets, modular things, do things like trim sheets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can showcase with a room, similar to what we saw with Baldi. So use Baldi's project as a reference about what I mean by room. It doesn't need to be as intense as what he had. It could be a little bit smaller, especially because he was working with other people. If you're gonna do this by yourself, you can definitely like scale it down. But showing that you can do your room is a good way to showcase your environment skills as well. Because right now I'm not seeing a lot of environment. I'm seeing a lot of what's the word? The prop artists. There we go. Let's go with Lane_ST. Character artist from Warsaw, Poland. Cool. I don't remember seeing your stuff, my friend. I don't have a lot of information on the message, so I'm just gonna go with the feedback here. This is a nice render, a nice controller. But for hard surface modelings, you got to show the wireframe, okay? We need to see the wireframe to know that you were following like proper modeling things, because this could be Dynamesh for all I know. I know it's not Dynamesh, right? But this could be like made out of really bad or ugly topology, like a lot of n-gons everywhere and stuff like that. So, or sub-Ds, right? It could be like NURB curves or something. So it's important that we can see the wireframe to evaluate whether or not this could be used in a production. It's a nice one. I can see that's a little bit like this seam lines right here. I think a little bit they're a little bit too rounded for the car. I'm not a huge car guy, so I'm not gonna be able to tell you if I'm right or not. The topology is flowing way better, or it's flowing very nicely. So this is the kind of stuff that I would love to see on your controller. Now let's take a look at the character artists. Water Diana. Okay, we definitely need to improve on the face proportions. She looks like she's having her like whole jaw protruding forward, and her eyes look a little bit dead as well. So she looks like she's very tense, very surprised. The body proportions are also a little bit off, especially Diana. I mean, Diana is very. Every League of Legends champion, or most of the League of Legends champions, are usually this very like sort of like sexy, powerful woman, right? So you can see the proportions here, right? This is the kind of proportion that we're going for, that we want to go for. And right now, we're not nailing that specific proportion. So we definitely need to improve on that. Also, the cloth looks very fake in a couple of areas. I'm not sure if you're using, it says here that you're using Marbles Designer. So yeah, there's a couple of things that we need to improve on this character. I would probably not add it to my portfolio just yet. This one looks like a nice conceptual piece. If you did everything, then that's fine. So, and this is great. Like, I'm going to use this as an example, because there's a lot of people that upload every single one of these images as separate submission for your portfolio. I don't think that's really what you should do. This is better. Like, if you're going to do some sort of like experimental conceptual stuff like this, that's fine, but keep it in a single one, so that people that are looking for this kind of stuff can find it and use it as reference. Spider-Man black suit looks a little bit better. Proportions are good, but here the textures are the things that's holding this back. It seems like you were able to bring this into the game engine and everything, so that's pretty cool. That's actually really nice. I would definitely change the textures a little bit. It's not that's wrong, but it's like this sort of like mix between organic, glossy, and like realistic. So it might be just my personal preference. Now, the fact that you got 1,400 downloads, that's amazing, man, because that's how you get your name out there. And maybe some people are going to see your work and they're going to be like, hey, I want you to do a mod for me. And maybe that mod will land you a job somewhere, right? So this one looks way better than the Diana one. So I can definitely see that you're improving. The pants look really nice. The wrinkles and everything, that's nice. Even the expression on the face is really cool. This is a little bit of a weird pose. Like, I don't usually pose my characters like this, but I've seen some productions that do this. There are certain like studios that like to do it that way. So this is fine. I think this is a good character. I will definitely keep this one on your portfolio. And then this is very funny. Bad Boy. I don't know who this guy is, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's like a rapper or like a hip hop artist or something. It's funny. I guess, yeah, I would, again, keep it. I know the proportions are stylized and they're supposed to be like this. It's fun. So yeah, it's a nice result. Again, wireframes. We've got to see wireframes to see, or to make sure that this guy could be deformed and animated and rigged properly. That would be my advice, my friend Lane. So, oh, I missed that one. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Close this other stuff. Cool. So that was Elaine, and finally we're gonna go with Aryan. Aryan, sorry that I left you until the very end. Here we go. It says, hey Abraham, hope you're doing well. Finally completed this environment. Please have a look at it and tell me how you feel. Let's take a look. Cool, yeah. Aryan has been a huge supporter of the channel, so thank you, Aryan, for being part of this family of the Nexus team. And he's been showing advances or like progress shots on this one right here. And I think you have a really nice piece. Like, I saw some of the comments that you were getting about people asking you to maybe add a little bit more specific presence to the robot, and I think that's a valid concern. We could like maybe have like a spotlight facing the character or something, but it's still a really nice shot. Like this shot right here, those turntables, those are fine. So this final shot that you get like all the way up here, like this looks like a really nice professional thing. I would definitely, and I think I've mentioned this before, I would definitely add a little bit of focal, or what's the word? It's not focal length. Depth of field. A little bit of depth of field. Like, just blur out a little bit of this. And actually, let me show you. Let's open Photoshop real quick, because we talked about this one before. There is a neural filter now instead of Photoshop. And when you give it an environment that has depth, like that it can understand has depth to it, you can actually add this inside of Photoshop. So let me show you. Come on, Photoshop. Are you opening? There we go. Control B. There we go. So we're gonna go here. Plug or filter, neural filters. And we got this one right here called depth blur. So we turn it on. As you can see, it's processing here on my computer. I select the little guy. Just click the focal point right there, which is going to be my little guy. And I can decrease or increase the blur strength. So as you can see, I can change this a little bit. Maybe I can like try to move this point a little bit like closer to the midground like that. That's going to blur the foreground a little bit more. I can do something like that. There you go. I would definitely like go for my character, to be honest, and keep it a very low blur, something like a 2 maybe. And there you go. So it might not look like much, but there is going to be a slight change. You can see it here on the background. Okay, so that little change right there might be enough to give us something that looks a little bit nicer. Another thing, and I know this is like a very cheap trick, but it works wonders, is just a little bit of vignette, right? So if we do a little bit of vignette, we mask this out, that's going to give us what they were talking about on the comments. Like, this is going to give you the sort of like framing that allows you to only focus or focus a little bit more on the character. And it's perfectly valid to do this in post-production for this piece right here. Even in video, you can do this in After Effects and you're going to get a very similar result. So yeah, I love this piece, man. I think it's a great, super strong portfolio piece. Aryan has some amazing stuff that he's been doing for the past couple of months. So yeah, congratulations, my friend. This is a great environment. So I'm going to stop the video right here, guys. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing the remainder 5 guys right here. So Sufhayu, Julia, Marcus, Sayrul, and Adiv. I'm going to be doing you guys tomorrow. So I'm going to be uploading a small video for Sunday. If you guys want to support the channel, if you like what we do here, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to check our Skillshare courses, our promotion for our AAA stuff, all of these things, all of the things that you have seen here with all of these amazing portfolios. We teach you guys how to do that through our premium courses and through our YouTube channel. So stay tuned, make sure to join our Discord channel, make sure to support us, and thank you very much. I will see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.